Welcome to Efiwe, Excellence Without Stress.
Welcome guys to Efiwe, Excellence Without Stress. I'm Miss Favor, your use of English teacher, and I am happy to be here. Did you know that the word theater means operating room in medicine? And in education, it means a building that is consisting of a stage and seating in which an audience gathers to watch plays or musical performances. So a university student could just say, "Oh, I'm going to the theater to watch a play." While it means a different thing when they say, "Are you looking for the matron? She's in the theater." So one word, yet it means different things in different fields. That will lead us to our topic for today. We're looking at Cloze test and language register. So let's get right into it. What is Cloze test? For some other people, they call this numbered gaps. A Cloze test, what it does is to just test the learner's knowledge on language register. Now, before we get to the part where you are careful to select answers based on the register, tense and word group, let's see what register is. What is language register? Simply, language register means specialized vocabulary, language of a particular profession or field, subject matter. What this means is that for different fields have their own vocabulary. So there are terms that are peculiar to people in medicine. There are terms peculiar to government and politics. There are terms peculiar to agriculture. There are terms peculiar to science and technology. There are terms peculiar to education. This is what language register means. Also in language register, we also learn that there are words that are used for formal purposes and there are words used for informal purposes. So, just like we saw in our first example, a word could mean a thing in a profession and mean a thing in another profession, like the word theater. Now, there are language registers that are used for consulting experts, while some are used in both formal or informal settings. So now we're going to look at some examples of language register. Let's look at language register in medicine or medical practice. Word and meaning. Casualty in medicine means someone that is injured or someone who was killed in an accident. Blunt means not sharp. Diarrhea means frequent and watery bowel movements. Fracture means breaking of hard tissue such as bone. Painkiller, a medicine used to relieve pain. Syringe, a medical instrument used to inject or withdraw fluids. Recuperate, to restore to good health or strength. Indigestion, a stomach disorder characterized by discomfort or pain. Let's look at the language register in education. In education, when we say a child is hyperactive, it's a child who is energetic and full of life. Alumnus, a graduate of a school or college. Boarder, a pupil who lives at school during term time. Campus, the grounds and building of a university. Chancellor, the honorary head of a university. Lecture, talk for the purpose of teaching. Class, a group of persons taught together. Dean, the chief administrative official of a college or university faculty. Dissertation, a written thesis often based on original research, usually required for a higher degree. Dropout, a student who fails to complete a school or college course. Let's look at agriculture. Barn means a building for storing farm produce. To gather in agriculture means to pick flour and keep in one place. Nursery. Now, you see, nursery school in education, we mean kindergarten, place for students, for pupils who are within the age of 1 to 5, 1 to 4. But nursery in agriculture means a place where young trees and plants are raised for transplanting or sale. Crops means grains, seeds, seedlings. Irrigate means to supply crop or land with water. Cultivate is to prepare land for crops. Farmer is a person who works the land or keeps livestock. Harvest is a process of gathering ripened crops. Broadcast is to sow seed by scattering it. Now when we come to press, broadcasting means a different thing, but in agriculture it means to sow seed by scattering it. Cage, an enclosure made of bars to hold animals. Now we are going to look at this closed test and answer questions. So you see, just like I said, closed tests are numbered gaps. So now we're going to identify what register is being used here and answer our questions and select the best option based on the register, based on the subject matter. So now, to ascertain the subject matter, we're going to find clues as we read. Setting up a newspaper. Now, newspaper. That already sends our mind to either press or publishing. But let's go on. Setting up a newspaper involves a lot of preparations. The dash: A, processor; B, lithographer; C, proprietor; D, sub-editor has to employ a lot of people. The correct option is option C. A proprietor is an owner of a newspaper. So setting up a newspaper involves a lot of preparation. The owner, who is the proprietor, the correct option is option C. Let's continue. Other people working with him are cartographers, editors, typesetters, readers who work in various ways to produce the text of the newspaper dash. A, agents; B, reporters; C, analysis; D, vendor. The correct option is B. So the people who work with the proprietor to produce the text of the newspaper reporters, that's the field reporters. What they do is that these are the people who go out and collect stones and items of news. So they are on the field working to get news. So who go out and collect stones and items of news and dash. A, correspondents; B, distributors; C, listeners; D, newscasters. Now the correct option is option A. They go to collect stones and items of news from and correspondence. So that means, this simply means that they're going to collect reports from a particular subject. So, and correspondents who specialize in one kind of topic. Another important person who works closely with the editor-in-chief is the dash: A, announcer; B, news editor; C, proofreader; D, reporter. Who has to choose the most important stories? That means the correct option, option B. The news editor is the one who chooses the most important stories. Who chooses the most important stories? Dash. A, sub-editors; B, writers; C, agents; D, producers. Why the news editor chooses the most important stories? The people who call the sub-editors go through those stories sent to them to make necessary adjustments. So you see the progression from the editor-in-chief to the news editor, and then we have the sub-editors. Let's continue. The editor-in-chief could determine, for instance, whether a particular journalist should write articles daily or weekly in a particular column. Such a journalist is known as dash. A, freelancer; B, a composer; C, a columnist; D, an essayist. The correct option is option C, a columnist. So a columnist who has to specialize on a particular field. The editorials of the newspaper will be coordinated by dash. A guild of researchers; B, an editorial board; C, all readers; D, an agent. The correct option is option B. The editorials of the newspaper will be coordinated by the people who call an editorial board. So this is the body that coordinates. The publisher could decide to establish dash. A, an article; B, column; C, a magazine; D, a gazetteer. which would be on sale weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. The correct option is option C. Now, a magazine is completely different from a newspaper. So the publisher could decide to establish a magazine that will be on sale weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Dash. A contrast from. B, a contrast in. C, a contrast to. D, a contrast for. Usually contrast is used with T, to, or with. The correct option here is option C. Or monthly, a contrast to the eye-catching, screaming headlines and captions of newspapers on sale every day from the dash. A, reader. B, distributors. C, pressmen. D, salesmen. We call the people who distribute, we call them distributors. That brings us to the end of this closeness. Let's look at another example. In addition to further reading as a vital arm of referencing, the use of the dictionary in language learning. So now we know that we're talking about something related to dictionary education should be emphasized. It cannot be denied that dictionaries do supply facts about a language which may be difficult to find anywhere else. A, information. B, words. C, details. D, knowledge. Dash. So we're going to choose from these options. About grammar usage, status, derivation, and so on, necessary for comprehension, are contained in the dictionary. The correct option is option A. We find information on grammar, usage, status in the dictionary. While context, word analysis, and synonym search contribute immensely to the dash of meaning. A, forming. B, getting. C, knowing. D, creation. The correct option is B, getting, and that means to understand meaning. An efficient use of the dictionary to experiential conceptual background to create a meaning context cannot be denied. The dash of both the specialist and general dictionary should be encouraged as the case may be. The correct option here is option C, the use. So the use of both specialist and general dictionary should be encouraged. Not that the students should jeopardize reading fluency by dash every word they do not understand. So is it by considering any word, or pondering, or meditating, or looking up? The correct option is option D. When it means searching for something, the correct term is to look up. So look up word in a dictionary. Not that the students should jeopardize reading fluency by looking up every word they do not understand. Rather, in their bid to read chunks or groups of words in a text, lexical items that dash obstruct meaning may quickly be checked up in the dictionary. The correct option here is option A, because we're saying it shows probability. So lexical items that are likely to obstruct meaning should be checked up in the dictionary immediately. Glossing over a word or lexical guessing through context may not be sufficient dash to encourage the use of the dictionary as an aid to reading. A, practice. B, exercises. C, notes. D, passages. May not be sufficient practice. That means the correct option is option A, to encourage the use of the dictionary as an aid to reading and a tool for checking words used in writing. Must be built dash the reading text must be built into, that means to develop, must be built into the reading text. This skill can be easily transferred to the students' content areas as well. A barrage of criticism, like students' excessive reliance on the dictionary instead of contextual dash. A, reading. B, meaning, C, decoding, D, guessing. The correct option is option B, contextual meaning. This is as opposed to the literal meaning or meaning on the surface. So instead of contextual meaning reduction in the speed of reading, time wastage and so on abound against students' use of the dictionary when reading. It may, however, be argued that dash students to guess the meaning of words from context. A, asking, B, teaching, C, making, D, allowing. The correct option is B. It may, however, be argued that teaching students to guess the meaning of words from context and then compare this with the dictionary entry for such words is a discovery dash. A, procedure, B, method, C, means, D, strategy. The correct option is option B. Is a discovery method for enlarging the conceptual environment and vision of students on the various interpretations that may be given to a word. Now, everything we've said about cloze test and language register is that for you to answer questions on cloze test, you must be informed on the different language registers that we have. So you're not just going to say, because I am intending to pursue a career in medicine, that means the only terms that concern me are medicine terms. No. So you go as far to learn registers on different fields. This will help you to pick correct options when it comes to answering questions on cloze test. And you see, we just treated only registers on medicine, register on agriculture. So to answer more questions on language register and cloze test, all you have to do is to quickly go and download the Efiwe app, and you have as many questions as you want to practice what you've learned based on cloze test and language register. And I will see you in our next class. Thank you for watching.